All right, in this video, we're going to talk about simple data slicing with the iloc command. Okay, so in here, I've got my import statements, and then I have my data loaded up um, into this variable called data. Now, if you have a different variable name here, you chose a different one like my data or something else, then everywhere, I type data, you're going to have to use the name that you used. Exactly. You have to be a little bit careful that you type that in correctly. And then in the next cell here, I printed that out. And so you can see it. And so what we want to do then is to extract certain parts of this data set. Okay. And so one of the ways we can do that is with a command called iloc. All right. And so before we get into the actual mechanics of slicing it, you just kind of need to know how this data frame is laid out. So we have rows that kind of go across. So, and you can see that there's some labels here for the rows. This is row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, and so on and so forth, right? So that little number is called the index. And so iloc, the I stands for index. So we're going to be locating data in this data frame using the index. All right, so the rows here already have these indexes when you print it out, and you can kind of see what row that you have here. And then a column is the vertical entity in here. So, and then columns also have indexes as well, but you can see that they're not labeled. Here they're using some labels, right, for that. And so what we want is, I just want to draw in the column indexes here. So the first column here is going to be at column index 1, and then column index 0, right? Then column index 1, and 2, 3, and so on and so forth until we get to the last column like this. Okay? So that's how they're indexed. All right, and so now let's say that we want to slice a little bit of the data out of here. And I'm going to switch the color of the pen. Let's say we wanted to slice this 43 out of here. We want to get that value out of our data frame, right? And so what we would do is, I'm going to add another cell in here. First, I'm going to run all this to make sure everything is refreshed. And then I'm going to add some code in there. And then I'm going to save that in a variable. So I'm just going to call that variable X, just a short, simple name. And then what I would do is to put the name of your data frame, right? Mine is in data, but again, if you read your data into a different variable here, you would use that. So the name of the variable that your data is in, all right? And then a bracket, then dot, right? And then iloc, okay? And then iloc is followed by some brackets in there, all right? An open bracket and a closed bracket. And then there's going to be two numbers in there. And the first number is going to be the row of the thing that you're looking for, the row index. And then the second number is going to be the column index. So if we want to slice this 43 out, right, then what we would do is that one is in row 2, right? Column 3. All right, so what we would do here is to put a 2 before the comma and a 3 right after the comma, and then run that. Oops, gotta press the play button. All right, nothing happens here, right? But this value X is in there, so what we could do is just print that out and just verify that we are getting the 43. You can see it says mp.int6443, so that's the type of that that piece of data. So if you just want to look at it a little bit plainer than that, just print out that variable, and you can see I get 43, right? So that sliced out that 43 that I wanted. Okay, let's do one more in this video. All right, let's say that I want to slice out 2012, right here. All right, so that value 2012 is in row 2, column 0. All right, if I want to slice that out using iloc, I would just go here, row 2. So I would put a 2 there, and then column 0 right here. And if I run that, I'll just click run all, because I'll have to run this one too to refresh it, or you can just click run all. You can see that now the value that's stored in that variable x is 2012. Okay, so that's the basics of iloc. In the next video, we'll talk about how to slice multiple things out of a data frame using iloc.